Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and we're back out here in the garage for, I guess, what's going to be a part 2 to the video that I made yesterday where I asked what type of gun could have been used in the obvious targeted assassination of the CEO of United Health. And in that video, I structured it in a way that I think fooled some people because I showed, well, I don't have the suppressor attached right now, but this is the B&T Station 6. In fact, I should probably go ahead and attach the suppressor while I talk about this. But I used the thumbnail, or this gun in that thumbnail, and a lot of people were saying, you're an idiot because that's not the gun he used. It's obvious he's not. And I'm like, well, did you watch the video? Because in that video, I talk about how I don't think it was this gun, and I was trying to explain why I don't think it was this gun. But inevitably, people got a lot of information wrong, so my desire to be a good firearms content creator and educator, because I'm actually an educator for a living. I don't do anything in the firearms world for a living. I'm just a hobbyist and an enthusiast. I'm actually a music teacher. That's what I do for a living. But I was showing this gun and talking about how to operate it and why I didn't think this was the gun that was used in the commission of that crime. So a lot of people were saying, the first thing I want to address is people were saying there was some police officer that said it was a B&T Station 6, and this is a B&T Station 6. And they were saying it has to be that gun. So I've asked people, why did the police officer say that? Because I've only found one source that says it. Did they find the gun? No, they didn't find the gun. So we don't know for sure, and based off of the images that I can see, we don't really know. And the way he manipulated and operated the gun, I'm pretty sure it was not this firearm. Now, I could be completely wrong, but I don't think this is the case. But just because a police officer says something doesn't mean it's necessarily true. Maybe he's hearing hearsay or seeing what people are saying online. But we don't have any definitive proof. So we have a police officer saying it was a Station 6. But then a lot of people were saying on the news there are photos of, I guess, that e-bike with a 1911. Now, I don't have a 1911 with a threaded barrel. This is a Colt World War I reproduction. In fact, this is the 100th anniversary 1911 that Colt made, Tier 3, kind of a collector's 1911. But it does not have a threaded barrel, so I don't have a suppressor attached. But the profile of this gun is very different than the profile of this gun. But there's an image out there, and I don't know if it's real or fake, of a e-bike from New York City that looks like it has a 1911 with a suppressor attached. So the people that are out there saying it was definitely a 1911 with a suppressor aren't listening to the people saying it was a Station 6, and all the people that says it was a Station 6 are ignoring the evidence that says it was a 1911. But as I said in yesterday's video, I don't think either of these two are the gun that was used because, I don't know, the video and the evidence we see just doesn't show it. However, I do appreciate the people that, well, I shouldn't say appreciate. There were a couple of people that were kind of joking and going, well, this is a very rare gun. The fact that you have it might mean you're the assassin. And then somebody came on there and said, this guy's too fat to be the assassin. Well, I don't think I'm that fat. I'm not, okay, am I a little bit overweight? Yeah, I am, but I'm not fat. Geez, thanks. But I do have a rebuttal to this because some people were asking, going, it's not a Station 6, it was a VP9. Well, guess what I also own? So I went to the safe room and got it back out. Yes, I have a B&T VP9. Now, this is the commercial version of the, I guess we'll say the well rod, or the modern version of the well rod. It's not 100% kind of true to form, but this pistol we have here is, well, it's closer, I should say. Now, this is made by the same company. In fact, you might even see the poster that's hanging up behind me over here. This was a gift to me from B&T, and it actually is a VP9, or a kind of a schematic of a VP9. And people are saying, you can tell the differences between a VP9 and a Station 6. You're an idiot. I love all those people. Well, here is a VP9. And here is a Station 6. Can you tell the difference? Most people are not going to. And I'm going to show you the differences here real fast. The VP9 stands for veterinary pistol, and this is a firearm that is designed based off of the well rod, but it was designed for the, I guess, the putting down of animals, especially like large animals on farms by a vet if they're not going to use some type of injection. It's supposed to be very, very quiet, but there are a few differences between it. Between these two pistols. So the first thing I'll show you is the magazine. So this is much more like the original well rod. So here we have the receiver of the gun, the magazine, and the grip are integrated. So if I insert the magazine into the frame, it creates the grip. The Station 6 has a 1911 style 9mm magazine. And so these are not compatible. So they use a completely different magazine, and the grip here is one piece. Another thing that is different is the size. You can see the size of the VP9 and the Station 6, and I keep closing that case on my arm there. But the VP9, see if I can get it kind of side by side. The VP9, which is this one, is shorter. See if I can get it both in frame where it looks similar. You can see it's a little bit shorter there. It uses the same type of action, and it holds one less round. So the magazine for the Station 6 is larger, and the magazine for this one holds one less round. Another thing that is different is the thread pitch on the barrel. So the Station 6 is more of an Americanized version of the gun. So it uses right-hand threads. So it screws on like a typical accessory. So it's going to be like righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. But the VP9, however, is the opposite. It's European. And when it comes to suppressors in Europe, they like them to be left-hand thread. So this is, what's this? That would be lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. It's the exact opposite. So the suppressors for these two guns, while they're pretty much the same design, they are not interchangeable. So that's the difference. So those people saying, you're an idiot, it was a VP9, not a Station 6, you can easily tell the difference. Really? Can you really tell the difference in a grainy footage? I don't think you can. This gun is not super rare. It's not very common. It's not going to be a commonly stocked item at your local gun store. This one and this package is one of 500 that I believe are in the United States that B&T imported. So it comes with both of the suppressors, tools, an extra magazine, and a cleaning kit. But this one is rare, one of 500. And this example is unfired, and so this is one of the treasures of my collection. So, some other things we need to talk about, and this is where I want to educate some people. A lot of people in the comment section were saying the suppressor didn't have a booster, and that's why it was malfunctioning. And that's not always going to be the case. So I got a couple of suppressors out here, and I want to show you the mechanics and how a few of these suppressors and firearms work, because not all suppressors need a booster, and not all pistols require a suppressor with a booster for it to work. So if you're unfamiliar with how a suppressor works, we have on the end that is mounted to the firearm a mount, and these usually are interchangeable. They can unscrew. And in this case, I have one that is just pretty much a cap. And when I take this cap off, we can remove two parts. One that is called the piston, which is this part right here. It has some lugs on it, which correspond to some lugs within the suppressor. And then we also have this spring. And how this works and why a suppressor on some semi-automatic pistols require a booster is because many semi-automatic pistols use a Browning tilting barreled action. Now, all firearms require a locking mechanism of some type. And a locking mechanism essentially is a safety feature that uses the laws of physics to ensure the gun fires and functions correctly. Because if you know Newtonian physics, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction, and those actions are going to coexist at the same time. So when you fire a projectile out of a firearm, you have the energy coming out the barrel in one direction, and immediately that energy is also going to be pushing back on the firearm. It happens at the same time. And so what you want to happen is for the projectile to leave the barrel and the gas pressure in the barrel to subside to a safe level, then have the action of the gun open up. If the two work at the same time, you would have a lot of gas that would not project the projectile downrange, but also it would be dangerous because essentially you'd have exploding gas coming back in your face. So you have to delay that action in some way. And some guns use what's called, as I said, the Browning tilting barrel. It was a concept developed by John Moses Browning. And so this is a FN 509 tactical. And so you can see this action in this pistol, by the way. So when the gun is locked or the slide is closed, the barrel is fixed, it can't move. When you fire the gun, the projectile will push the slide rearward. And when the slide comes back, the barrel hood drops down to clear the top of the slide. And as you can see, the barrel is kind of pointed up and it's loose. And it's designed to do that because the gun's not going to fire in this way. And this does not affect accuracy because when the gun comes back, you'll notice the barrel hood is going to pop back up, lock into the slide. And I can show you this right here. Right there, you can see it. So there it's down, there it's up. So what this does is the barrel and the slide move together in unison for a short period of time before it reaches a point, then the barrel dips down. That's the locking mechanism. And in that little time it takes for that slide to do that, that's enough time for the projectile to leave the barrel, the gases to drop to a safe level. But what people are talking about when it comes to the booster, and this gun, I got to take off the thread protector here, is because this barrel tilts if you have extra weight on the end of the barrel. It will prevent it from wanting to cycle because the barrel will not want to tip down. So if we add all this extra weight on the end of the pistol, when the slide comes back, if you have all that weight holding it down, it's probably not going to cycle reliably. Now, that does not mean that a suppressor without a booster will not work. If it's light enough, it will. And some pistols, depending on how far the slide will reciprocate, will work just fine. You don't always need a booster. It's recommended for a gun like this. But the way that this works is when that action happens, and you'll notice, and I should be able to pull this apart here. So because that piston has a spring on it, very quickly, when this gun cycles, the piston will pull out, and you can notice now I can twist the suppressor, but that piston is still locked on the slide. It essentially is floating in midair for a very short period of time. It compresses that spring, which means the weight is off the end of the barrel, allowing it to cycle. Now, did that guy not have a booster in his suppressor? It is possible, but the gun still could have functioned. But not all suppressors and guns need boosters. Now, this is where people were saying, all suppressors need a booster. Well, let's go over a few that do not. Okay, and why? Well, let's start off with the pistol first, because I think most people are going to be more interested in this than the other guns that I have. So let me take off this suppressor off the FN 509 Tactical, and let's take a look at the Beretta 92. And this is actually a M9, this is my M9, yeah, this is my M9A4 is what this is. So this is a Beretta. It's kind of a standard pistol. The United States military used a version of this for a long time called the M9. But the locking mechanism of this gun is different. It does not use a tilting barrel. It uses a dropping block. So you'll notice that when this slide is held back, the barrel does not tilt. It has these two little locking pieces, and you can see from the top, right here, and right here, and those are the part that drop down into the gun, and the barrel remains straight. A Beretta 92 series, or any type of gun that uses this, and this design was based off of the Walther P38, it does not need a booster. Now, this does have a booster in it, but if I attached to this, or I had a mount that was the same thread pitch that did not have that spring in it, it would still function just fine because this gun does not need a booster. And of course, I'm trying to do this with my other hand here, but there you go. So even though the booster's in this one, this gun is not required to have one. In fact, it is better to not put the booster when you're shooting this gun on this suppressor because you don't want this to come unlocked up here. So you do not need a booster on this type of a pistol. And there are many pistols that have various locking mechanisms you do not need a booster on the suppressor for. All right, so I guess we can put that to the side for right now. And then let's talk about other suppressors that we don't need boosters for. So here is one of my HK MP5s, one of my favorite guns. This was also chambered in 9mm. And you'll notice the end of this barrel has two features. We have a thread protector. It is a threaded barrel, but also we have these little lugs right here. And so I have a suppressor. This is a Silencer Co. What is this one? This is the Omega 9K. This does not have a booster in it. This has a 3-lug mount. And it goes over those lugs. You push down, turn it over, and now it's on the firearm that quickly. But this is not going to have a booster, and the firearm is going to run just fine because the barrel is fixed. You do not need a booster in this suppressor. Same thing would go with what's called a direct thread suppressor. And so here is one of my other SBRs. This is a Sequence Precision 300 Blackout build that I use for a lot of my suppressor reviews. And here we have the CGS Suppressors Hyperion K. And this suppressor screws on like the other one does on the pistol. However, because this is a fixed barreled gun, and this is also a rifle, this suppressor does not need a booster. It doesn't need a booster because this barrel is not going to move, and this is a fixed mount. So I can't remove the threads on this suppressor. So anyway, I wanted to show that and talk about that because, as I said, there's a lot of people out there still misunderstanding things. And I beg and implore people that before you say statements of fact online, ask yourself, did I hear it from a reliable source? Because I know there's people out there that watch other firearms channels, which are great channels, by the way. And they're going to be like, oh, it was a Station 6. It had to have been a well-rod version. And you just pick up on a couple pieces of information. You go around, it was a well-rod. It was a Station 6. It has to be that. Make sure the information you're presenting is accurate or to the best of your knowledge, or state it in a way that goes, I think it was this gun because of this reason. Because there's a lot of people out there saying it was this gun because I guess a cop said it was. But then there's other people out there sharing pictures saying it was a 1911, and obviously these two guns look completely different and function completely different. And then there's other people saying it was something else. My contention is it was still a pretty standard semi-automatic pistol that had a suppressor. And I'm going to tell you, I am perplexed by people that say he didn't have a booster or he never tested this weapon, considering that everything else about this assassination seems to be so well planned out. I cannot believe that everything else was so well planned out and so well timed, and he overlooked the implement and tool he was going to use. It makes absolutely zero sense to me. So I just wanted to kind of, clarify a few things and hopefully educate some people. By no means am I saying that I have definitive answers, but there are a few things that I know, and firearms are one of those things. Do I know everything about firearms? No. But when it comes to firearms technology, design, locking mechanisms, and suppressors, I know a lot, okay? Do I know everything? No. Am I the definitive answer on everything? No, I am not. But I understand the difference between pistols like this with a Browning tilting barreled action. This one here that has kind of this dropping block that's borrowed from the Walther P38. This doesn't require a booster. This one does, but this one would still function with a suppressor without a booster if it was light enough, or it was just, it might work, is all I'm trying to say. It might not, but it might. It's not a definitive statement that he was running a suppressor without a booster. And as I said in yesterday's video, for all we know, he intentionally manually cycled the gun. And for me, when I watched the video, it does not look like he was cycling the action of a Station 6, because I showed this yesterday. When it comes to cycling this gun, you're really supposed to grab it here, open the action, collect the casing, put it in your pocket, and then close it back up. But even if he wasn't doing that, this action that I'm doing now is not what you saw on video. He's not doing this, and that's how you run the action on this particular gun. So it looks like to me he's racking the slide. And because I was talking to you about the different projectiles that were found in casings, which by the way, we do know for 100% fact it was a 9mm, so stop saying it was a 22. Please get your facts correct. You can go and look at the crime scene photos and see that it was a 9mm. So anyway, that is the update. So for people that tell me that I don't know the difference between a Station 6 and a VP9, well, I own both. And this one is not super rare. It's rare. This one is super rare. But they pretty much look identical. I would think for most people, you're not going to be able to tell the difference. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk about tonight. So I am imploring you, if you are a pro-gun Second Amendment person, okay, someone that would usually follow my channel, cares a lot about guns, finds this story interesting, I am begging you, get your information right. Learn all you can, because you are representatives of our community. So if you go out there, even to other gun owners, and make yourself look silly, it doesn't help our community. Don't definitively say it was one thing or another. In that video I made yesterday, I fooled a lot of people. I had a thumbnail where I said, the gun the assassin used in New York, or something like that. And I was like, that's not the gun. And I was like, you didn't watch the video, because in the video, I might start talking about this gun. I clearly say in that video, this was not the gun I think was used. But I also say, I don't think it was, I use the word think. I don't think it was used. It could be, but I'm just giving you, based off of the evidence I have, the pictures I've seen, the video I've seen, what I think is plausible. But none of us know. Even that cop that said, oh yeah, he used a Station 6, we don't know for sure. So there you go. Get your information right, and if you're not sure, you could still have an opinion, but make sure that you state it as an opinion. Don't make yourself look like an internet gun expert when you're really not. It's okay to have a belief, to think he used this. That's totally fine. But make sure that you tell people, hey, I think he used that. Here's why. And lay out your facts. Be reasonable. Because you might be right, you might be wrong. Otherwise, you look like a fool. So anyway, that's all I got for you tonight. I hope you liked this little demonstration. And if you were unfamiliar with different locking mechanisms, different types of suppressors, how they mount, I also hope that you gained a little bit of knowledge. So that's what this channel is all about, the Texas Gun Vault and the Texas Gun Vault 2. We're here to share and learn from each other. So thank you for joining me for this video and going on this little journey through the firearms community that I'm going through, and I hope you enjoy it. So let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, I add a little word of the day to the end. So the word of the day is going to be booster, because that seems to be the point of contention for a lot of people, thinking the suppressor that the perpetrator used did not have a booster. But it might have. We don't know. But not all suppressors need a booster. Not all semi-automatic pistols require a suppressor with a booster. Get your facts right. So now let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching.